Good afternoon. Today we are going to discuss about the power transmission devices. In the last class, we had discussed about the belt drives and the derivations of the belt drives, of course, ratio of the tensions, derivation of the velocity ratio of the belt drive, length of the belt. All this will be discussed, and then based on that equation, we are going to do some problems on the belt drives. So simple numericals on belt drives. Problem number one. Problem number one. In a belt drive, the velocity ratio is 3. The velocity ratio is 3. The driving pulley runs at 400 rpm. The driving pulley runs at 400 rpm. The diameter of the driven pulley is 300 mm. Find the speed of the driven pulley. Find the speed of the driven pulley. Find the speed of the driven pulley and the diameter of the driving pulley and the diameter of the driving pulley. So here he has given the velocity ratio. He has given the velocity ratio. Based on the velocity ratio equation, what is the velocity ratio equation? We have given that n2 by n1 is equal to d1 by d2. n2 by n1 is equal to d1 by d2. So if you have taken the n2 as a driven pulley, n2 as a driven pulley, the speed of the driven pulley divided by speed of the driving pulley equal to the diameter of the driven pulley driver pulley divided by diameter of the driven pulley. So based on that equation, I am going to calculate the diameter of speed of the driven pulley. After that, I am going to calculate the driving pulley. So you can use the equation. You can use the equation of that velocity ratio. From the velocity ratio, we can find out that velocity ratio is always given as n2 by n1, that is the driving pulley by driven pulley, So based on that equation, you can calculate the speed of the driving pulley, speed of the driven pulley. The speed of the driven pulley can be calculated. Okay. So use that equation and then find out how much you got.
Yes.
So speed of the driven divided by speed of the driver is called as velocity ratio. Speed of the driven divided by speed of the driver is called as velocity ratio. Next. So in belt drive, the ratio of tensions, that is tension on the tight side and tension on the slack side. So that is given as in the belt drive, the ratio of tension is 2. The ratio of tension is 2, and the slack side tension is 500 newtons. 500 newtons. If the speed and the diameter of the driven pulley, are 200 rpm and 120 centimeter respectively, So how we are going to calculate the power transmitted? So in a belt drive, the ratio of tensions is 2, means T1 by T2. That is the tension on the tight side divided by tension on the slack side is equal to 2. That is T1 by T2 is equal to 2. And the slack side tension is given as 500 Newton. Slack side tension is denoted with the T2. So a T2 is given as 500 Newton. So T1 by T2 is equal to e power mu theta, and if the speed and the diameter of the driven pulley, are 200 rpm and 120 centimeter respectively, find the power transmitted. Power transmitted can be written as T1 minus T2 into velocity. Velocity of the belt. Velocity of the belt can be used. You can use finding the pi dn by 60. You can use the pi dn by 60. So you can use the equation T1 by T2 is equal to 2. From that you can get the T1 and T2, and you know that the diameter, speed and the diameter of the driven pulley is given. So from this we can get the velocity of the belt. Velocity of the belt. So I can use the equation power transmitted is equal to T1 minus T2 into V. T1 minus T2 into V. So power transmitted is equal to T1 minus T2 into V. Okay, so V is equal to pi dn by 60. Use the equation V is equal to pi dn by 60. D is the diameter of the driven pulley and n is the speed of the driven pulley. From that equation, I can find out the velocity of the belt in terms of meter per second. So this diameter has to be converted into meters, so that I can get in terms of meters per second. So from this T1 by T2 ratio is given. I know T2. So from T1 by T2 is equal to 2. T1 is equal to 2 times T2. 2 times T2. So T1 is obtained as 1000. So power transmitted is equal to T1 minus T2 into velocity. So based on that equation, we, based on the equation we can find out the power transmitted. So you can find out this power transmitted. Note down this problem parallelly. Next, move on to the problem 3. That is a shaft running at 100 rpm. A shaft is running at 100 rpm is to drive a parallel shaft at 150 rpm. A shaft running at 100 rpm is to drive a parallel shaft at 150 rpm. A parallel shaft at 150 rpm. The pulley on the driving shaft. The pulley on the driving shaft is 35 centimeter. The pulley on the driving shaft is 35 centimeter. Find the diameter of the driven pulley. Find the diameter of the driven pulley. Calculate the linear velocity of the belt and also velocity ratio. So he's asking find out the linear velocity of the belt. Linear velocity of the belt is written as V is equal to pi dn by 60. V is equal to pi dn by 60. That is, we know that diameter of the driven pulley or driver pulley, and n is the speed of the driver or driven pulley. Based on that, we can find out the velocity, linear velocity of the belt, and also velocity ratio. Velocity ratio you need to find out by using N2 by N1, that is driving pulley by driven pulley. So a shaft running at 100 rpm is to drive a parallel shaft at 150 rpm. So a shaft is running at 100 rpm is to drive, means this is the driver and this is the driven. So driving shaft, a shaft which is running at 100 rpm is to drive the parallel shaft at 150 rpm. So based on these two data, we can find out the velocity ratio. Now he has given that the pulley on the driving shaft is 35 centimeter. Means the diameter of the driving shaft is given. And find the diameter of the driven pulley. So use the equation of velocity ratio. N2 by N1 is equal to D1 by D2. N2 by N1 is equal to D1 by D2. Based on that equation, we can find out the diameter of the driven pulley. So then we can find out the linear velocity of the belt. That is V is equal to pi dn by 60. You can use pi into d1 n1 by 60, or you can use the pi into d2 into n2 by 60. You can use both of these equations. And find out how much is going to be the velocity of the belt and the velocity ratio. Next. So here I have given a belt drive. The angle of lap on the driven pulley is 160 degrees. In a belt drive, the angle of lap is given as 160 degrees. So this is nothing but we have given as the angle of contact, that is theta equal to 160 degrees. And the coefficient of friction is given as 0.3. So I have given mu also. I have given mu is equal to 0.3. One is angle of contact is 160 degrees and the coefficient of friction is 0.3. So if the maximum tension in the belt, is 10,000 newtons, that is maximum tension in the belt is nothing but what? It is given as tension on the tight side. So tension on the tight side is represented as T1. So T1 is given. That is the maximum tension is always taken as tension on tight side. Tension on tight side is represented as T1. Tension on tight side is represented as T1. So T1 is known as 10,000. Okay. So from that we can get the T1 by T2 equal to e power mu theta equation. We know T1 by T2 equal to e power mu theta equation. That is the ratio of tensions. Ratio of driving tensions is equal to T1 by T2. That is equal to e power mu theta. That's what we derived. So T1 by T2 equal to e power mu theta. From that equation, I can find out what T1, because I know T2, I know mu, I know theta. So once you know all these parameters, I can easily apply this. T1 is equal to T2 into e power mu theta. So get the value of T1. T2. Get the value of T2 because T1 is given. So T2 is equal to T1 by e power mu theta. So from that equation, I can find out the T2. Once you got the T2, he is asking the initial tension of in the belt drive. So yesterday we discussed, last class we discussed about the initial tension in the belt drive. So initial tension can be defined as that is T naught is equal to T1 plus T2 by 2, means neglecting the centrifugal tension. We are calculating the initial tension. As in the belt drive is T1 plus T2 by 2. So by using that equation, I know that T1, I know that T2. T2 you are going to find out by using the equation T1 by T2 equal to e power mu theta. So by from that equation, I can find out the T2. So once you find out the T2, then use the initial tension equation. That is, what is the initial tension in the belt drive? It is given as T naught is equal to T1 plus T2 divided by 2. So substitute the T1 value and substitute the T2 value and get the T naught value. So that is a problem which you are going to do. Next, problem number 5. In a cross belt drive, see the belt drive is different now. Cross belt drive, the difference in tension between tight and slack side is 1200 newtons. Means what is given tension between tight and slack side. So as we represent the tension on the tight side is T1 and we represent the tension on the slack side is T2. So the difference is T1 minus T2 equal to 1200 Newton. So from this sentence, I am getting the data as T1 minus T2 equal to 1200 Newtons. Next, if the angle of contact is 160 degrees, what it says is theta. Theta is given as 160 degrees. And the coefficient of friction is 0.28. So here mu is given. So the data which he has given is T1 minus T2, mu and theta. These are the three data is given. And find the initial tension. Once again, is asking for finding the initial tension. So we know that the initial tension equation. Is equal to T1 plus T2 by 2. So T naught is equal to T1 plus T2 by 2. So here, what you are going to find out? You need to find out the T1 and you need to find out the T2. Then you need to substitute in that equation. Then you will get the initial tension. So in order to find out the T1, in order to find out the T2, he has given the relation. He has given the two relations. One is ratio of driving tensions. We have one relation, that is T1 by T2, which is equal to e power mu theta. So left hand side is T1 by T2 and right hand side e power mu theta, which is mu and theta is given. So when mu and theta is given, then we can find out the value of T1 by T2. We can find out the value of T1 by T2, which is equal to e power mu theta. So then from that I can get the relation T1 in terms of T2. And in the beginning of the sentence which I have given is T1 minus T2 is given 1200 newtons. So I can substitute the value of T1 mu theta into T2 in the equation of T1 minus T2 equal to 1200 newtons. So once you substitute that equation, the value of T1 in the equation of T1 minus T2, I'm going to get the T2. So once you get the T2 and substitute the T2 in the second equation, and I'm going to get the T1 value. So once you got this, then you can find out easily So one is T1 by T2. Okay, another one is T1 minus T2. So T1 minus T2 is given as 1200 newtons. T1 minus T2 is given as 1200 newtons. And here from this, so here I will get in terms of this is e power mu theta. We know the two equations we need to go know. So one is e power mu theta. So theta should be substituted in terms of radians. Theta should be substituted in terms of radians, not directly degrees. This degrees has to be converted into radians by multiplying by 180 by pi. 180 by pi. So 160 degrees into 180 pi, which you are going to get in terms of radians. In terms of radians. So once you substitute in this radians, theta, angle of contact, then we'll get the T1 in terms of T2. T1 in terms of T2. So use this equation and then see theta, which is in terms of radians. If I want to substitute the value of theta in terms of radians and find out the T1 by T2 relation, then use this equation T1 minus T2 and substitute and get the value of T2. Then from these two I can get the initial tension as T1 is equal to, T0 is equal to T1 plus T2 by 2. T1 plus T2 by 2. So that by using that equation we can find out the initial tension of the bell. So whatever they are given angle of contact in the degrees, it should be converted into radians by multiplying with pi by 180 degrees, so that we can get in terms of radians, in terms of radians. Right? How much you got? Convert this 160 degrees into radians, that is by multiplying with pi by 180 by multiplying with
2.79.
160 degrees
2.79
should be multiplied by pi by 180. It should be multiplied by pi by 180 to convert this into radians. So you should be taken care while substituting the theta value, which is given in terms of degrees, this has to be converted into radians. How to convert into radians is 160 into pi by 180, which will give the in radians. So substitute the value of theta in radians by multiplying with pi by 180 and get the T1 by T2 in terms of e power mu is known, theta is known. Substitute the value and get the constant here. T1 in terms of T2 you are going to get here. Then replace this T1 with the value which you got from here and get the T2, and then substitute in this equation, get the T1. So once you got the T1 and T2, then substitute the equation in the initial tension of the which is equal to T0, that is equal to T1 plus T2 by 2. Okay. Next. Two pulleys of diameters 500 mm and 200 mm are run over by flat belt, and the centers of the pulleys are at a distance 1 meter. The central distance is given, that is 1 meter. I think we have given the equation of length of the belt. The centers of the pulleys are at a distance 1 meter. Determine the required length of the belt. For an open belt drive and cross belt drive. So he has given the diameters, that is which we have taken R1 plus R2. The equation which we have taken in terms of R1 plus R2, length of the open belt drive, and length of the cross belt drive. So we have taken, that is length of the open belt drive can be written as pi into R1 plus R2 plus 2x. X is the central distance. That is given as 1 meter. And we know that R1, we know the R2 also. The diameter of the pulleys is given, that is R1 is equal to 500 mm. R1 is equal to 500 by 2, that is 250 mm. That can be converted into meters. So it is 0.25. So and similarly this R2 is equal to 100 mm, R2 is equal to 100 mm, so 0.1 meter. So convert into meters, then after converting into meters, substitute directly in the equation, because for the length of the belt, there are three variables. One is the radius of the driven pulley, radius of the driver pulley, and the central distance, So as they are given the three parameters here, as they are given three parameters. One is here 500 Newton meter, 500 millimeter, and 200 mm. That is R1, R2 is given, and also the central distance. The center's distance is also given as 1 meter. The central distance is also given as 1 meter. So three parameters are known. So we know that the length of the belt, length of the open belt is equal to pi into R1 plus R2 plus 2 into x plus R1 minus R2 whole square by x. R1 minus R2 whole square by x. This is what we have derived the equation, and use that equation and find out the length of the belt for open belt drive. Similarly, length of the belt for cross belt drive is also we have derived the equation that can be written as L is equal to 2x, pi into R1 plus R2 plus 2x plus R1 plus R2 whole square by x plus R1 plus R2 whole square by x. So use that equation for cross belt drive and get the length of the belt. So for any length of the belt, either it is a flat belt drive or a cross belt drive, we have the equation for L, and the parameters which are the variables you need to find out for the length of the belt is, you should know that the radius of driver pulley, you should know the radius of driven pulley, and then central distance, Once you know these three parameters, then it will be easy. Then it will be easy to find out the length of the belt. Okay. Next, problem number 8. 7 missing. Okay, problem number 8. In an open belt drive, a shaft running at 630 rpm. A shaft is running at 630 rpm, and it is required to drive a parallel shaft. So this is a driver shaft, and it is driven shaft. You need to require, and then the diameters of the driver and follower is given. That is, the diameter of the driver is 600 mm. Diameter of the driven is 300 mm. And here the driving shaft driving shaft speed is given. Driver speed is given, so that is 630 rpm. And then determine the speed of the follower shaft in the following cases. So here neglecting the belt thickness. First case is neglecting the belt thickness. So neglecting the belt thickness, we know that ratio of the driving speed to the driven speed, ratio of the driving speed to the driven speed is equal to belt drive d1 by d2. So n2 by n1 is equal to d1 by d2. So by using that equation, directly I can find out the speed of the follower. So speed of the follower divided by speed of the driver is equal to diameter of the driver divided by diameter of the follower. So use that equation and find out the speed of the follower. So in this first case, neglecting the belt thickness, but is asking the considering the belt thickness is 10 mm. Considering the belt thickness is 10 mm. So when you consider the belt thickness, the velocity ratio changes. That is, n2 by n1 is equal to d1 plus t by d2 plus t. So thickness of the belt is also added for the on the right hand side. That is d1 plus t by d2 plus t. So calculate the initial tensions. And find out the determine the speed of the follower. So it is a simple problem. The data is given directly. That is, n2 by n1 is equal to d1 by d2. You need to use only one equation here. That is, n2 by n1 is equal to d1 by d2, where n2 is unknown and d1, d2 and n1 is known. So when it is neglecting the belt thickness and considering the belt thickness, you need to find out the different speed of the follower. Next, ninth problem. It is desired to transmit the power of 20 kilowatts. So here it is desired to transmit the power of 20 kilowatts between the two parallel shafts. So power is given. How much power they are going to transmit is 20 kilowatts between the two parallel shafts by means of a belt drive arrangement. By means of a belt drive arrangement, the driving shaft rotates. The driving shaft rotates at 150 rpm. So the driving shaft, if I take the N1, the driving shaft is equal to, the speed of the driving shaft is equal to N1, and while the driven shaft is, say for example, N2, N2, so then the distance between the centers of the two shafts, the distance between the centers of the two shafts is given as C. That is, central distance is given. That is, we can represent the X in the derivations. And the pulley mounted on the driven shaft is 60 centimeter diameter. So driven shaft which I have taken is N2, so it will become as D2. It is become as D2. Then assuming the coefficient of friction between the belt and pulley, it is mu. Mu is given. Coefficient of friction is also given, and determine the length of the belt and belt tensions for open belt drive and cross belt drive. So for both cases, we need to find out the length of the belt. Length of the belt in the case of open belt drive, we have a equation that is pi into R1 plus R2 plus 2x plus R1 minus R2 whole square by x. R1 minus R2 whole square by x. That is for open belt drive. And R1, R2, I know. R1, R2 you need to find out. I think D2 is given, and D1 you need to find out. I mean the radius of the driver pulley you need to find out. Radius of the driver pulley you need to find out. So R1, R2 is given. The radius of driven shaft is given. So that you need to find out R1 by using the equation of N2 by N1 is equal to D1 by D2. N2 by N1 is equal to D1 by D2. So from that equation you can find out the R1. Once you find out the R1, so we know that the length of the belt equation is three parameters to be known. One is R1, one is R2, and then another one is X. So X is given, R2 is given, and R1 you need to find out from the velocity ratio equation. So once you find out this R1 and then substitute the R1 in the length of the belt, either it may be open belt drive or cross belt drive, length of the belt is equal to R1 pi into R1 plus R2 plus R1 minus R2 whole square by x plus 2x. Whereas cross belt drive, pi into R1 plus R2 plus 2x plus R1 plus R2 whole square by dx. So from this we can find out the length of the belt, open belt as well as cross belt. Now he is asking to find out belt tensions for open belt drive. So belt tensions is nothing but power is given which is equal to T1 minus T2. Power is equal to T1 minus T2 into V. So we know that V is equal to pi dn by 60. From that T1 minus T2 I am going to get. The T1 minus T2. So once you got this T1 minus T2, and then we know mu and we know that theta. So from that T1 by T2 we are going to get the angle of ratio of tensions. We know, difference of the tensions we know. From that we can find out the T1 and T2 in this case. And next, last one, the two parallel shafts which is 5 meters apart, means the central distance between is given as 5 meters. And the diameter of the bigger pulley is 1.5 meter and the smaller pulley is 0.75 meter. The initial tension in the belt is 2.5 kilonewtons. So once you got this 2.5 kilonewtons, that is the given as initial tension, that is T naught. T naught is given, that is T1 plus T2 by 2. T naught is equal to T1 plus T2 by 2. So from that we can get the T1 plus T2. The mass of the belt is given. The mass of the belt is 1.25 kg per meter length. Mass of the belt is nothing but which is in the case of centrifugal tension, which are going to calculate TC is equal to mv square. So 1.25 kg per meter length. Coefficient of friction between the belt and pulley is 0.25. That is mu is given as 0.25. And the angle of lap, angle of contact is given as 170 degrees. It's not 1700. It is 170 degrees. This one 170 degrees. Take it as 170 degrees. Okay. So, and the angle of lap on smaller pulley is 170 degrees. Find the power transmitted in the following cases. So, one is neglecting centrifugal tension. So, when you neglect the centrifugal tension, we can find out the initial tension as in the T1 plus T2 by 2 only. If you consider the centrifugal tension, we need to look at the T1 plus T2 plus 2 Tc by 2 Tc by 2. Because when you consider the centrifugal tension, we have derived the equation. As T1 plus T2 plus 2 Tc by 2. 2 plus, 2 Tc by 2. So Tc is equal to, how we are going to find out? M into V square. What is the V? V is nothing but velocity of the belt. Velocity of the belt, how we are going to find out? Pi dn by 60. So use that equation and find out the centrifugal tension for the second case I'm talking about. For the first case, it is direct. That is T1 plus T2 by 2. Initial tension can be calculated. From the initial tension, we can find out the T1 plus T2 equation is T0 equal to T1 plus T2 by 2. You have to take. And in the second case, we need to take T0 is equal to T1 plus T2 plus 2 Tc by 2 is equal to 2.5 kilonewtons. Likewise, you need to take the two different equations by considering the one centrifugal tension, the other one is by considering the centrifugal tension. One is the not considering the centrifugal tension. So use this equation and find out the power transmitted in the both cases. We know that power transmitted is T1 minus T2 into V. So we can use that equation and find out the power transmission. So these are the problems in the simple numericals on the bell drives, and we'll go to the next topic, which is the gear drives. So gear drives, this is also one of the power transmission device. Where we want to transmit the power for shorter distances. When you want to transmit the power for shorter distances, we use the gear drives. For medium distances, we are going to use the chain drive. For larger distances, we use the belt drive. So we have discussed about the belt drives, where we have transmit the power at a larger distances when the shafts are connected at larger distances. Whereas in the gear drives, when the distance between the two shafts, say from here to here, the shaft axis, if you look at here, the distance between these two shafts is called as a shorter distance. So this distance is very less, then we can go for gear drives. So a gear, what is a gear? Gear is nothing but it is a toothed wheel. That engages another toothed wheel is called as a gear. Okay, so that we can get the change in the speed or the direction of the transmitted motion. Change the speed as well as direction of transmitted motion. So gears are generally used for one of four different reasons. One is to increase or decrease the speed of rotation. Second one, to change the amount of force or torque. And to move the rotational motion to different axes. That is, when I want to transmit for parallel, this is about the parallel axis, and even I can transfer the rotational motion at right angles also, and rotating linear, all this motion to the different axes. Motion can be transmitted to the different axes. And to reverse the direction of rotation also, I can use these gear drives. Now, if you look at this gear drives, there are classification of gear drives according to the position of the shaft axis. We can have the parallel axis gears and intersecting axis gears, or non-parallel, non-intersecting gears. So these are the different gears which are under the position of the shaft axis. And the peripheral velocity. So velocity, in the sense low velocity power transmission gears, and medium and then high velocity transmission gears. And the types of gears, you can see types of gears which can be different: worm gear, bevel gear, spark gear, and all those. And the teeth position, based on the teeth position, teeth is going to be on the periphery of the gear wheel, or inner side of the gear wheel also can be. So that is called internal gears and the external gears. External gears which has the teeth on the periphery of the wheel. Whereas internal gear, the teeth will be inside the wheel. So these are the classification on the gears, and we'll go. Well, gears are nothing but the components of machines for transmission of power as well as motion. So gears are components of machines for transmission of power and motion from one shaft to the other shaft, separated by small distances. So as it is, the gears are used only for the power transmitting when the shafts are at smaller distances. It is a toothed wheel. So as we seen in the previous figure, it is a toothed wheel. That is the wheel with a number of teeth. Wheel with a number of teeth. Teeth in the sense, this is the, so each one is called as a teeth. This is one teeth, 2, 3, like that. It has a n number of teeth on this particular periphery of this particular wheel. Periphery of this particular wheel. So this is called a toothed gear wheel. Toothed gear wheel. So it is a toothed wheel, that is the wheel with a number of teeth on the surface or periphery, and it provides with the projections. It provides with the projections known as teeth. Known as teeth. And in between two teeth, there is a vacant space. In between two teeth, say for example, if you look at here, this teeth and this teeth are having the space. This is called tooth space. This is called as tooth space. This is called as tooth space. And gear terminology, if you look at the gear terminology, so we can have the pitch circle, addendum, dedendum, tooth thickness, width of the space, and as well as face width, plank, clearance. All these are called as a gear terminology. So we discuss the definitions of these each in the next class. Today I'm going to stop this.